Your 3-minute question and answer period for the Scotiabank Climate Action Challenge will begin now. Do you have an exit strategy for this project?
I think for both the projects, You Should Garden and Water Secure, they are pretty self-sustaining once we do have a team going. So right now it is myself and one other person. And, we've had the conversation of when we graduate, how is this project going to continue? We have a solid volunteer base and a sustainability method that we have in place to keep the garden running, as well as keep these remote communities have a sustained localized testing system running as well. So one would be creating that volunteer base with a certain methodology that keeps sustaining itself, as well as Water Secure. That will be a contract-based method that would employ people accordingly. So I guess to exit from both of these projects, it would still be sustaining, whether or not, the students, us undergrad students, are focusing on these projects or still in school or in Enactus.
How did you design your evaluation process to effectively measure your project's climate impact?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
How did you design your evaluation process to effectively measure your project's climate impact?
So for You Should Garden, we had to split it up into pounds diverted of the vegetables. So we have a metric for, of course, the amount of money that we save. So that's the excess produce that they have at these community gardens that we're actually going to waste because not enough people were going and gathering them. So we did an evaluation based off of the price per pound or per kg that you would typically pay to get these vegetables. And then we kind of did a diversion based off of that, of how much we gave back to the community in a dollar value. In terms of emissions and water usage, we actually are acquiring our own land this year, so we weren't able to measure how much irrigation or water, we used in that given 6,400 square foot of land. So that's how we evaluated that project. And for Water Secure, our evaluation would be based off of more the public health standard once we implement those localized testing hubs, which we are in conversation to contract out. So the evaluation for that would be how many boil advisories have we limited, how many the emissions that come from sending the samples via, which is the method right now, via plane and through other transportation routes, how much of the emissions we reduced from that by doing it localized. That's how we would evaluate that project. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to do that this year. So,
how has COVID-19 impacted your project?
For the gardening project, it was fairly difficult because when we implemented it, that's when COVID was starting. So we actually had to be very mindful of who was going into our garden, keeping our volunteers safe, as well as the hands-on workshops that we wanted to do.
Your time has now expired. Thank you, Enactus University of Regina.
Thank you.